everyone so we know who's on the board.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Jim. Oh, forgot you, Mike.
We good to go? Looks
Yep.
like it. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Planning Board for April 30th, 2025. Pam, can you take attendance, please?
Sure. Michael Gore,
Here.
Austin Groner,
Here.
James Barr,
Here.
Michael Lau.
Here.
Michael's an associate member that will be a voting member of this planning board meeting due to the absences of Eric Nyland and Robert Romer.
Okay. We are expecting Eric to show up later on, possibly. So, first item on the agenda tonight is a public hearing for 58 Main Street, special permit for the Posh Pup. So do we have a oh, sorry, Pam, do you need to read anything for this or?
Yeah, there's a hearing notice I need to
Okay.
read for the record. In accordance with MGL Chapter 40A, Section 11, the Town of Bolton zoning bylaw, notice is hereby given that the planning board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom communications to hear and act upon the application of the Posh Pup LLC and Scott Michella for a property located at 58 Main Street in Bolton, Mass. The applicant is seeking approval to open the Posh Pup dog daycare for boarding, grooming, and possibly training. This public hearing will be conducted via remote participation pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions to the open meeting law. Open information is provided below and is posted to the town calendar on the homepage of Bolton's website. And then the Zoom information follows.
Okay.
This
Thank you for
appeared
that.
at the Bolton Independent on April 9th and April 16th.
We have representatives for the applicant.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
How you doing? Please identify yourself.
Scott Michella. I am the owner of the Posh Pup.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give us an overview of what you're proposing? And Pam, I don't know if you want to bring up the
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the
plot.
site plan first.
Yeah,
Does
bring
that
up the site
sound-
plan first.
Okay.
And sorry, Scott, unless you had something you wanted to present.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, yeah, we'll just bring up the site plan. Just so everyone on the board should be familiar with this. This is the lower portion of 58 that we did the special permit for the HVAC company the past few meetings. And so this is for the smaller building closer to Main Street. So Scott, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. So we own, I own the Posh Pup in Acton. We've been in business for almost 2 years, and the demand has been very high since we've opened. And we have a lot of clients from the Bolton and Stowe area. So it made sense to look for our next expansion to Bolton. When we found this property, it fit all our needs with being away from other businesses and just a location fit great for what we needed. We're looking to expand our services and add grooming. Right now, we only do boarding and daycare. We do about 50 dogs per day there with about 3,000 square feet. So this is a much larger building as the demand and need is there. We do have an overnight person that sleeps on site with the dogs. So they're not unattended at all at night, which is great because if something happens or if there is any noise, that overnight staff person is there to, you know, rectify the situation. Our daycare operations right now, we have a lot of experienced staff that are all first aid and CPR certified. We have a partnership with Minuteman Tech that we get a lot of their co-op students that are in the co-op program. So right now we have 2 students, which with this location we'll be able to add more. And it's great because they all are trained on dog behavior in the vet tech program, and they are CPR certified and first aid.
Okay, thank you for that. So this is a second location that you're opening in addition to the Acton location?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
We have about 100 dogs on our wait list right now. There's not
Wow.
much turnover just because a lot of people have went back to work over the last year or two, and they do not want to leave their dogs home alone just because they got them during COVID, which, a lot of dogs don't like to be left alone now.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. And so you said you have about 50 dogs a day in Acton. What's the proposal for this location?
So this location is over about like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times bigger. So at least 100 dogs. Each we keep them in like smaller groups. So they're only be in groups about of 15 to 20 just because we have one staff member in each group. So we don't want to overload that staff member just for the safety of the dogs. We do a trial day, which is 4 hours. A lot of places will just do like a quick meet and greet, but we do a 4 hour trial just to get a feel of the dog. And we require our clients to at least come once or twice a week. And that helps with anxiety and helps the dogs get familiar with each other, and it creates a less stressful environment. So, also in this location as well, each play group inside will be divided by vinyl fencing, so they're not able to see each other in the group, which also helps with not with noise and making sure the dogs are not getting highly excited. We noticed that in our Acton location, we're in one open, like wide open room, and we haven't had any noise complaints or anything. But being in business in 2 years, we figured like a best solution for that.
So I think some of the questions that we want to talk about here are things like traffic flow. So is 100 dogs kind of like 100 individual owners? So you're expecting sort of 100 car trips to come through, or 200 per day to come through here? Um,
So we have a lot of owners that have 2 dogs, 2 to 3 dogs each. So 100 is, of course, at capacity. I don't expect to get to that number for at least a year or two. But in the beginning, we're going to have a lot of clients move over from Acton. So I would say at least, 25, but those are not constantly throughout the day. There is obviously times in the morning that we do a set drop off time from 7 to 10 a.m. And then pickup would be around like 3 to 6 p.m. And we do half days as well. So it depends on the giving time. The most busy time I would say is about 9 o'clock, and biggest pickup time would be about 4:30 to 5 o'clock. But some of them will be half days, which will be getting picked up like in the afternoon between 12 and 1 o'clock. So I don't expect all those cars to be there at once. And we do, we schedule it on a schedule. So like in our Acton location right now, we have a certain number coming in at 7, certain number coming in at 8, just to help with that traffic flow and just for staffing purposes as well. If we have one person who opens, you don't want them to have 30 dogs alone. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yep, definitely. Pam, what you're showing here, is this the Acton location that we're looking at right now?
No,
Or
this
is this
is the diagram from an aerial view. He included it as part of his application, showing the traffic flow and drop off areas here on Main Street at the 58A location. So this is a
was
previous aerial photo when the
I see. Okay.
site was being utilized. Yep.
Okay. And the parking hasn't changed from the based on the last special permit we did with the other side. So there's enough parking on the site to accommodate this.
Yes, each site has their own required parking to satisfy the zoning bylaw,
Yep. Okay.
and
And
a few additional spaces as well, but yes.
okay. And the truck traffic from the upper building, that has its own separate entrance, correct?
Yes, it has an entrance, and we required as part of their special permit approval that they label the truck entrance. And that's going to be located to the south of this, so they'll go beyond this entrance location and go to the second egress and back of the building. And that's all required to be labeled off of Bolton Woods Way.
Are you guys doing any updates to the building? I mean, I imagine on the inside you're building out kennels and common spaces
Yes.
and whatever.
So yeah, we're gonna do like vinyl fencing inside to divide the play groups, but we're leaving the existing shell the way it is. We're not really doing anything major except for painting and flooring and stuff like that and building kennels. that's pretty much it inside. Outside, I believe Wayne and Dillis and Roy, they submitted with the Conservation Department our proposal for outside. Um, our plans, because I know it's in a buffer zone, so they're working with that right now.
Yep. And do you guys have, is there sort of like a grassy area outside that you're going to be using for walking or having dogs outside for periods of time during the day?
So on the right side of the building, where if you're looking directly at the front of the building, the right side, there's an asphalt path there already and crushed stone. That was my picture, but this has been cleared out.
I see.
There's a
Okay.
lot of crushed stone on the left side. So we're debating right now whether we're going to turf it or put crushed stone over it. That's still in the works, but that will be all fenced in by vinyl fencing, 8 feet if possible. And if Wayne is on this call as well, the owner of the property. So if you wanted him to add any details about what's being done on the site right now, he could add to that.
Yeah, Wayne, you just posted in chat, so feel free to add any commentary to that.
Sure. Hi, guys. Nice to see
Good to
everybody
see you again.
What I could tell you is, like Scott said, we're working closely together to go through, first of all, the traffic. This works well for both Scott and myself because my traffic is 7 a.m. in the morning, somewhat stationary, and then our day in terms of traffic and trucks is typically over between 2 and 3. So we feel as if, like, keeping that our traffic flow towards the upper part of the building. And then we're also doing some, as Scott said, we're doing some site work with Dillis and Roy. I'm working with Rebecca from Conservation to just go over how the site's going to be cleaned up and how the road, we have a proposal to widen the road a little bit up on the property going towards the exit, just to try to improve visibility of the street and traffic and flow and that type of thing.
Okay.
And as far as the outside areas, Scott and I have discussed, and we put on that submission to Rebecca showing a fence in this area. And I think today, Scott, you sent over some details on the fencing that Dillis and Roy could identify to Rebecca, so they have a sense of what we propose to put in and how it looks.
Now, Pam, this falls under our kennel use, correct, in our zoning bylaws?
Yes, the kennel, it does. They have applied for a kennel special permit for a kennel operation.
Okay. Is that comes through us as well, or is that through?
Yes, we advertise for both the industrial zoning, a use in an industrial district, and the kennel use simultaneously. So we're hearing both applications.
Okay, I see. And I think the other thing people will be concerned about is how are we, going to handle noise complaints or just, general issues. I don't know, Pam, maybe you want to answer that first, like what kind of we're thinking about.
Yeah, the animal control officer submitted a comment concerned with barking that may be problematic when the dogs are particularly outside playing. So we had a condition that all complaints would be submitted and copied to the planning board within a week of receipt. And then Scott had submitted just earlier today a remediation plan on how they deal with dogs that bark. They already have experience doing this, so I'll just let him review that plan.
Sure. So right now we're next to a bunch of businesses, a vet's office, a dance studio, townhomes and stuff. So we don't allow excessive barking at all. Of course, there's going to be a little bit when the dog, that's how they interact and play. But we do a trial day. So if we notice a dog is excessively barking, we will not accept it. And just because it's very disruptive to the other dogs and to the staff as well. It doesn't create a good environment for the dogs because barking could be considered anxiety and stress. So we found that the dogs being outside more is actually better for them than being inside confined in one specific room. Like we were able to make our yard bigger. We're on conservation area land as well in Acton, but we were able to make the yard a little bit bigger, and we found that by having the dogs outside in the morning time specifically, they get tired by the afternoon. So it's like it creates less barking, less noise, and
Mhm.
we'll dismiss dogs as well. We have a zero tolerance policy for any aggressive dogs or any dogs that just don't fit the environment, and we will dismiss them, and or we'll send them to training and work with them one-on-one to try to, help them out as well.
Okay, excellent. Any members of the board have questions for?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. So, Wayne, I think you mentioned that you were planning on widening some parts of the driveway access to the building. So, are those existing parking areas and pathways, are those in good condition, or do those also have to be redone?
Excuse me, Austin, those are not parking areas. Those are areas that has been designated as a one-way exit out onto 117. And today that road, some of the surrounding grass and material has kind of grown into the road. So some of it is exactly just in that spot right there. And some of it has been simply grown over and needs to be cut back and cleaned up. So in our proposal, to the right of the road, to the right of the existing road, there's some space to just clean up, widen it down, maybe put some compacted material down. And I went by and saw Rebecca yesterday, and she told our meeting is next Tuesday. And she said, once we walk through that, we'll have a site visit. If there's anything that they see they need marked up beyond Dillis and Roy's plan, they can make a comment then. So, and again, I wouldn't call it, quote unquote construction of making a new road. It's more of a cleanup of that road, making sure the brush is pulled back, making sure the current asphalt is exposed, and that the travel path is nice and clear for both Scott and myself.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. I think my other question was just about the existing parking for this building. So I just wanted to understand if those were in good condition as well.
They are in general. As part of our plan, we're going to go through and landscape the property. Obviously, we're going to sweep the areas with commercial sweepers and clean them, and just clean up any. In general, there are no real potholes or areas of any real decay. So for a place that has sat for a while, it's in pretty decent shape. So again, we're going to scrape back some of it to expose all the asphalt, clean up all the spots, and just keep the property in good condition.
Great to hear. Thank you.
Thanks.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Jim.
Scott, I'm just kind of assuming that it's probably going to be when the dogs do go outside, it's not going to be all of them all at once. They'll be in their groups.
Yes, we bring them out we're going to have 2 to 3 groups outside, and we'll bring them out throughout the day. We have a schedule in Acton right now. We only have one yard space in Acton, and we rotate it out every like half hour to a different group of dogs. And then there's also we're going to be doing boarding as well, but we're not going to have the dogs out after 7 o'clock. They usually tend to go to sleep around 7 to 8 o'clock, and then we usually wake them up in the morning about between 7 and 8 a.m. So the noise will be minimized as much as possible outside.
I just wanted to clarify it.
Yeah,
That's all.
no problem.
I have a question
Anyone
on
else?
question on waste pickup with 100 dogs.
Yep.
Storage and frequency of removal.
So we're gonna have a dumpster on site that will be all our trash barrels outside, and inside will be emptied daily or as when they are full. And we plan to have trash pickup at least once a week, but if not, if it fills up more frequently, we'll do about twice per week. And the
Okay,
area
anyone
after
else?
they go to the bathroom, we always sanitize it anyway, just because dogs, they tend to go after the poop or like any feces on the ground. So we have to sanitize it just for any bacteria and any diseases.
Great. Any other members of the board have questions? No. Anyone in the audience from the public have any questions? Seeing none. Yeah, Scott, it looks like a good plan to me. I like that you've got a couple years experience under your belt in the Acton location, so hopefully you've learned from any mistakes there and get to start this off on the right foot here. I mean, it seems like a great fit for this location. So I know Pam had circulated out some conditions here, and you've had a chance to review those
Yep.
and okay with all of those.
Yes.
We
All right.
can if
Scott had
Oh.
expressed some concerns with condition 7, where the planning board may require additional remediation, which may include but not be limited to change in hours or limitations on outdoor use.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to address that any further, Scott, or if you're in agreement with that.
Well, just my only concern was the outdoor space and that it wouldn't be, if we did get a noise complaint for any reason, which we haven't in Acton, so I don't really think that's going to be a problem here. But if it does, I just don't want to risk that outdoor space because it's
Yeah.
very important for the dogs to go outside, specifically just even to use the restroom, you know?
No, I think that, I mean, looking at that would be a absolutely worst case if we were
Yeah.
having multiple infractions and things weren't working
Mhm.
well. We would have to come up with something. I mean, you've obviously seen the property, the Bolton Woods Way subdivision is kind of up the road from you. It's far enough away. I
Yeah.
think that it shouldn't really be causing any major issues. I mean, I'm looking at your Acton location right now, and it looks like you're smack in the middle of
Yeah.
you know
Of everything. Yeah.
four other buildings right there. So no, I mean, obviously, like the planning board, we want you to succeed in your business, and we want to, make sure that we're being good stewards for your neighbors in the property, and also, do what we can to help your business succeed. So,
Thank you. I
um,
appreciate that.
anything, the conditions in here are just that we can have an open dialogue if we're receiving complaints, which again, I don't think we will. We have another kennel, at least one other kennel in town, and I don't think and it's in a much more residential area, and I don't believe we've had noise complaints from that. So, um, okay. So if any other comments from anyone?
Michael and the rest of the people on the board, I would just like to
Yes.
add that Scott and I have been working closely throughout the process. And as I know, we spoke a few weeks ago, anything that we can do to help with exterior landscaping, fencing, anything, we're going to support Scott fully. So we're into it as a team. And like I said, we're looking to bring the property back to life and have some activity there. So,
That's great to
whatever we
hear.
can
I
do to
mean,
help as well, feel free to reach out if there's something that we can do collectively.
that's great. No, I'm really glad to hear that. I mean, like I said, we on the board are excited that not just one, but both of these buildings are going to come back to life. And I mean, they've been sitting vacant for a long time. So we're very excited about this.
Great.
So if there's no other comments, I will make a motion to close the hearing on the special permit for 58A Main Street.
Second?
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
Michael Lau,
Aye.
James Barr.
Aye.
Hearing's closed by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, and I will make a motion to approve the special permit for 58A Main Street for the industrial use and kennel use of the Posh Pup LLC, with the provisions listed in the Planning Department memorandum dated April 15th, 2025.
second.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
Michael Gore,
Aye.
James Barr.
Aye.
The application is approved by a vote of 4-0.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, Scott. Good luck,
Good luck.
Wayne. Let us know if you need anything or if you have questions about anything.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank you,
very
guys.
much.
Have a great
Okay.
night.
Take care.
Great. Take care,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye. Okay. Next item is the continued street acceptance petition for Goose Pond Path. I think I saw Mr. Wheeler on the phone or on the call, so. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
We're all doing well.
Good.
I think the last time that we talked, we had 3 outstanding issues. We had two separate easement issues and then the matter of the street light. So
Yes.
you want to give us an overview on where we stand?
Yes, both easement issues are resolved. We have a signed easement regarding lot 8, the lot 6 easement. We've communicated with regarding the plan that the lot 6 people are temporarily living in California right now. So we reviewed the plan last week, and then we reviewed the easement document. All of that is good. They had a baby on Monday, so they haven't got the document back to us yet. But he's expecting to have it back to me by the end of the week.
Okay.
So he emailed me from the hospital on Monday. So I think everything is under control there. If something were to go surprisingly wrong, I can always saw cut the 2 feet off and have it, not be on their property. I'm 99% sure everything is in order and it'll be, I'll have the document by the end of the week. And Greg is on as well, and he revised the as-built plans according.
So one quick question on the easements. Are those kind of DocuSign things, or are you waiting for physical copies of documents?
No, they're notarized, signed copies.
Okay.
They're going to be recorded. So
Okay.
they have to be recorded. So they're not DocuSign.
Yeah. So
He asked
Pam,
to do
as
a
far as
DocuSign, but I said I need to get the notarized version.
Yep.
And so that was just they had planned to do it, and then all of a sudden they had a baby, and so then it became a little slightly more complicated to just assemble that.
Sure.
But that's where we are.
Sure. So Pam, as far as those easements go, do we need copies of those, proof of those? How does that typically work?
They've updated the plans, and those are the plans that we would vote on. If for some reason the documentation doesn't go through, then we wouldn't be able to record the deeds. We have 120 days after town meeting vote to record the appropriate paperwork at the Registry of Deeds. And if we're not able to do it within that time, then the vote would just expire.
I see. Okay. Okay, so it sounds like the 2 easement and I'm sorry, the other easement, the one that's on the common driveway, that's been taken care of.
Yeah.
Done. Excellent. Okay. And that go ahead.
I'm
Pam.
sorry. We had the tri-party issue for the affordable unit, and Bruce's attorney submitted a revised documentation extending the security and kind of creating a new form. So we have forwarded that to town council for their review, and they are still reviewing the documents. But it seems appropriate and in line with the previous agreement, so we're not expecting any issues with that.
Thanks for that, Pam. That was the 4th thing. There's nothing else that we had. Sorry, I don't have my notes from the last.
Yeah,
meeting
there's
in front of
one more item. There was concern with the location of the street light. It was set back. when it was installed, it did shift about 15 feet back, primarily because there was a big plant landscaping area there. And we did attempt to use a brighter light and have it angle towards the intersection. That wasn't successful, so we relocated the street light to the location that was shown on the original plan. That work is done. And we also we had some metering that we needed to do. We separated the meter from the irrigation and then the street light. So that's done and in place as well.
Yeah, and that's because the town owns that street light once
That's
it's
right. That's right.
yeah.
So the work is complete.
And we updated the ASBIL plan to show that location just today as well. So, or yesterday, I guess.
I did have a question. I conducted a site visit today, and there was a small area of excavation outside the pump house with an open trenched area. So I just wanted to inquire why that was there and when it would be filled.
I don't know. I wasn't there on site. I will communicate with everybody and make sure that it's taken care of by the end of the week. If there's some reason that can't happen, I'll call you tomorrow, Pam. But otherwise, it'll be taken care of this week.
And just for the record, I had noted an open drain pipe in the detention pond, and Bruce did install a cover to that pipe. So there was a wicking system within the pond off of lot 6, and that's been taken care of as well. So just for the record, that item was on the punch list and has been resolved.
Okay. So it sounds like we've got everything, if not resolved, at least a path to resolution at this point. Any members of the board have questions about that? Any members of the public have questions about what we've discussed? No. Okay. So Pam, what is the process here? We are voting to accept, recommend street acceptance to the select board. Is that?
Yes, they petitioned the select board for street acceptance, and the planning board is required to make a recommendation at town meeting.
Okay. At town, so do we need to make a recommendation tonight or wait for town meeting?
You can make you have to make the recommendation during a meeting, so you have to vote on it, and then you can present the recommendation at town meeting verbally.
Okay.
So yes, it would have to be done this evening.
Okay. All right. I mean, so Pam, I mean, any concerns from you? Any questions?
No, the only issue is the resolution of the small area that's excavated outside the pump house. We would need that filled in and loaned and seeded. And then the other issue is acceptance of the tri-party agreement, which I feel confident will be reviewed shortly by council. And we would recommend that that be a condition of the approval as well.
So my approval, our approval will be conditioned on, so the streetlight's been moved. So the easement for, I'm sorry, that's lot 6, right?
Yes.
The tri-party agreement, the filling in of the excavated area, and I think that's it, right? That covers everything that we need. Okay. So I will make a motion that the planning board recommend. Oh, go ahead.
Did you ask I'm sorry, did you ask the public if there were any comments?
I did.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes. So I'll check again just in case anyone from the public have questions, but
someone got kicked out and came back in. That's why I asked.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Yep. Jenny iPhone.
Yes, hi,
Please identify yourself.
find my video. Jennifer Ballister. I'm the 2 Gooseman Path, Lot 8. And I I accidentally got kicked out, but got back in, so I don't know if we covered this, but the other open item, Pam, I think, is getting the key to the pump house for you guys.
Yes, we need a key to the pump house. Yep.
Okay.
The
Yep.
fire chief is aware of that.
Okay, thank you.
Do I need that to be? Sorry, that's the first I've heard of that. Do we need that as part of the condition, Pam?
The pump house is locked, so we just need a key to access the equipment.
That's
Yeah, we'll get Pam the key.
Okay, so I will make a motion that the planning board recommend approval of street acceptance to the select board with the conditions that the easement for lot 6 is resolved, the tri-party agreement for the affordable housing unit is also resolved, and the filling of the small excavated area near the pump house is completed, as well as the town receiving a key to the pump house.
Second.
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
James Barr.
Aye.
The motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Appreciate the work, and we'll be in touch, make sure everything is buttoned up.
Okay, yeah, I'll
for
close the
Monday.
loop on everything. If there is any kind of hiccup, I'll let Pam know immediately.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
have a good night. Okay, next item on the agenda is ADU site plan review for 166 Harvard Road. So this is exciting. This is our first site plan review for an ADU based on our proposed zoning bylaw change this year. Do we have a representative for the applicant here?
Paul Dunn is the builder of the project, and Brian Duza, the owner of the property, is also on the call.
Okay, good evening. Give us a quick overview of what you're proposing.
So Brian's in-laws are moving up to Bolton from Texas, and they need a place to stay. That's where we all started. And the new ADU law and the situation seemed to fit the bill. So the plans that we submitted show the structure that we're planning to add to Brian and Jenna's home to house her parents.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
Any outside of the actual structure, any proposed changes to you're not adding a second driveway for this, or
the new unit will have a 1-car garage that will be accessed from their current driveway, so it is not, we're not adding a driveway off of Harvard Road.
Okay. That's actually an interesting question of because we really hadn't considered garages as part of the ADU.
We did consider it, but we don't count it towards the gross square footage of the unit, and because that's in compliance with the new changes to Mass General Law.
Perfect. And the number of occupants who are going to live in this, I assume you've talked to Board of Health and you're okay with as far as your septic goes and all that,
Yes,
for limits of that?
We'll be putting a deed restriction on the property. Actually, I have to go in and pick that up, the boilerplate for that tomorrow afternoon from Christine, but the property is limited to a 4-bedroom residence by deed restriction. So that will be filled out and recorded with the Registry of Deeds.
The entire property right now will be restricted for.
Yeah, so it's a 4-bedroom unit, right? It's a 4-bedroom septic system, and Bill Jennings, I think, is your Board of Health, is who I've been in communication with.
Bill Brookings, yes.
We have to basically say that the property is a 4-bedroom, period. There is 1 bedroom on the house, existing second floor, that there was a family room added on by a previous owner, so that bedroom became a pass-through. Actually, you can see right there, we labeled it lounge. So that technically isn't an illegal bedroom anymore, because it's a pass through. So that's where we're going with it, still calling it a 4-bedroom home.
I see. Okay. And the new unit will have its own entrance and exit, plus also you can get to it through the main house also.
Correct. Yep. Its own kitchen, its own bathroom, own laundry facility, direct access to the outside, as well as a way into the main unit.
Okay. So Pam, refresh me a little bit. So on a site plan review, again, we're sort of looking that it meets the general conditions and all that. This isn't necessarily we are not approving or disproving the
No,
project.
you approve it and you can issue minor conditions. But basically, like you said, we're just reviewing the application and ensuring it complies with the bylaw requirements.
Okay. Anyone on the board have questions?
Just one quick one. So are you adding any additional driveway, or is the driveway already existing? That was unclear to me.
If so, you can see, actually, thank you for pulling that picture up. There is a new piece of driveway coming off the existing driveway to what essentially is the opposite side of the current home to access the ADU's 1-car garage. So at the bottom of this site plan that's new driveway.
I see.
The existing driveway goes up past and comes into at the top.
Got it.
There's no new curb cut for that
No-
driveway, correct?
no new
It's
curb
just
cut.
feeding off the existing one. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It breaks off.
With I guess with the addition of more impervious, ground, it's still in compliance with the, what's needed for the fraction of permeable soil. I guess that requirement is still.
I think there is any requirements for a residential. I think you could pave your entire yard if you wanted to. That's your right. Yeah, I mean, if this were a business, obviously we'd have, we have certain open restrictions, but for a residential parcel, I don't think we have anything like, correct me if I'm wrong, Pam, but I don't think we have anything on that.
And actually, currently, we are planning on being a finished gravel off, and then an apron in front of the garage is our current plan right now. Anyway, that may change in the future when they try to snow blow, and right now it's planned to be a gravel driveway.
Yeah, I hear that.
So there's requirements for businesses and developments, but not for individual properties. That's right. Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just one last one, actually. Just out of curiosity, how come you decided to go with an attached large ADU rather than a detached large ADU?
I don't know if Brian wants to. I think it's mostly just because it is a close family relation and the ability to go back and forth to visit mom and dad. I think that's the main reason versus having to go outside, especially where mom and dad are coming up from Texas. Winter, they might prefer to visit going through the house than around the outside.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, this is Brian. We are close family. My wife is an only child, and her parents are getting up in age, so it's a little easier to keep an eye on them. And also, they've got their own space, but at the same time, they can come and easily visit with us if need be without going outside, obviously in the cold weather in the winters.
Yeah, that's great. I will give my standard speech every time we talk about ADUs. I think they're great. I wish every house had an ADU. I think they're a terrific way to let, have parents age in place and be with kids and grandkids. I think it's great. The proposal looks good to me. I have any concerns with it? So if there's no other questions or comments from the board, then I will make a motion to approve the ADU site plan review for 166 Harvard Road.
Second.
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
James Barr.
Aye.
Site plans
Now-
approved by a vote of 4-0.
One one last question, Pam, again, this is all this site plan review is predicated on our zoning bylaw passing at town meeting, correct? Does
Right.
anything, if for some reason that failed, and I don't believe it will, since we're not really changing our definition of anything, does that affect anything with this? Would they have to come back to us for, because attached ADUs are still by right, correct?
The bylaws, excuse me, the bylaw is valid upon posting. So right now we're acting off of the posted bylaw with the amendments. So all the bylaws are allowed by right, but we change the posted bylaw requires site plan review. So that's why this is
That's
on
the
the
only
agenda for
difference.
your vote.
I see. So if we hadn't posted this, this was just by right. They could have just done this. They didn't have to come to the board. They're doing site plan review because of the bylaw.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Okay, great, guys. So
So
good
can I-
luck. So you're all,
can I ask a
sorry,
quick
yeah.
So
Sure.
does that mean now the building department can continue with their review after tonight's vote? The building department can now continue with their review of the plan? Is there, I didn't know if there was a hold on that because of this meeting or not, or if they're completely independent or what, so.
It's in coordination with it. So you go through the department sign off, and right now it's in planning. So now that this is approved by the planning board, it'll move on to the next person in line to review the
That's kind
project.
of what I was asking, this is that step, okay. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good
Thank
night.
you, everyone. Appreciate it.
okay, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see. We are flying through the agenda tonight, people.
No,
Next item is review of minutes from February 26th, 2025.
I believe they were attached to the email.
Yeah, they were
Eric
from the
joined
one.
us just as an FYI.
Yeah. Just in time, Eric.
Looks like I missed it all.
Mike's moving things along.
I assumed that
all
you were
business.
just getting started. I thought there'd be another 2 hours.
Nah, this is the new regime. We don't do that. Okay, so hopefully everyone got, the minutes were sent in from when Lauren sent out the agenda last week. So hopefully people have had a chance to review them. It looks like everyone is reviewing, or everyone was there except for Bob. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the planning board minutes from February 26th, 2025.
Second,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
aye.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Eric Nyland.
Aye.
Minutes are approved by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, that is the end of the agenda. Anything that people want to talk about?
Not for me.
Okay. So town meeting is Monday. And what's it, 7 p.m.? Is that when it starts?
Yes, at the high school auditorium.
Okay. And our agenda items are somewhere in the teens. I haven't seen the full list yet. So
we're 13 to 19 for
Okay,
zoning
yeah.
bylaws, and then the street acceptance is towards the end. I think it's 24.
okay.
Everybody should be very well beat down by that point. So
Yeah.
I just want to get out of there.
Yeah. So, Pam and I have reviewed the slides. We'll have slides for some of the articles and not others.
Did you want me to
Again, I'll-
share those now, or did you just?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. If anyone else, I mean, it's a little, we can't change them right now, but
We can beg, maybe. I don't know.
I think they should be fine. I think we did a good job sort of cleaning them up, and we tried to keep them to just the relevant information. But so I'm still planning on presenting the articles So people will be sick of me by the end of the night.
What's the protocol here? Are we treating this like another planning board meeting where we're, best effort to attend, or I guess what should we aim for here?
I mean, you should attend just to, you know, support our amendments, but it's not required. It's not a posted meeting for us.
Mhm.
You know, we'll just be speaking as representatives of the board. If anyone does. Ironically,
There's no requirement that we have a quorum at town meeting.
Yeah.
If that's what
That was my question. Yeah.
the intention, yeah.
I'll do my best to be there.
If you don't go, you'll miss all the fun.
Yeah, I think I mean there's how many there's just the one town meeting, right? All town meeting per year. Is that right?
sometimes we have a
Yep.
special one in the fall, but
Okay.
yeah, it's typically just the spring one.
Yeah, I think this might be my first all town meeting as
Oh, okay.
planning board
So
member.
yeah, I mean,
It's worth going, especially this one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
it's a very where are you from, Austin, originally?
I'm originally from Western Massachusetts, the Berkshires.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say like town meeting is a people move to town and they've never heard of town meeting before. They're like, what's that? Because it's a very like old-timey New England thing where everyone gets to get up and yell at people in one space. But like people from other states are like, you do what? So this one will be especially contentious because of the budget stuff.
Yeah.
So I imagine, like Eric said, people are hopefully going to yell themselves out before then.
Mhm. Got it.
And then just yes their way to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times that's what happens. The other thing we need to be careful of is maintaining quorum. Some people will come to vote on the budget and then leave after that's done. And we need to have a certain number of people at the meeting in order to continue the meeting and to pass things.
Mhm.
Sometimes if meetings run too long, they might halt it at some point and then try to pick it up the next day. That rarely happens, and I can't imagine it would happen in this one, but who knows?
There was one big budget year where somebody brought up basically tried to amend every single item. I forget what's his name, David something. I forget his name. It took like 3 hours. So all we got through was the budget, and then had to come back for another night for everything else.
Yeah, and that was everyone just cranked through those ones here.
I
I
remember
mean,
that.
again, so Pam, you can kind of step through these real quick. I mean, the sign bylaw, I think, is the one that if anyone is going to be controversial, it might be this one. And like I said, I'm going to try to get out ahead of it by just saying that we're not doing anything with political signs. We're not taking away your political signs. The planning board is not coming for you. So I'm going to try to get out ahead of that one early. ADU one, pretty straightforward. Floodplain, just yep.
Yeah, that was pretty right?
Yep. Fosbridge, just talking about I think we cut this down to just one slide. Is that right? Or is there two for this one?
No, there's just one.
Just the one, yeah. So I mean, we really just want to keep this one tight. Open space goes from 30 to 50 and the 4-step process. And I'll just, kind of speak to why we're doing this and what we're doing. Cottage is the one that we've got, multiple slides for. And again, this is really just to everything that we've talked about, that this came, a lot of feedback from the master plan committee and how we can address, just different housing types in Bolton.
Mike, I'm taking that developable 10-acre and more map and putting it in an Excel sheet so we can total the amount of area that the bylaw will apply to, just in case there's questions about how much land or how many parcels this will affect.
Yeah,
so I'll
that's
have
awesome.
I'll have that to you by Monday. Sorry, it's last minute, but
no, that's fine. I mean, I know we have that map of the parcels, and again, like I didn't want to show that because it can look kind of terrifying to people.
yeah,
So,
yep. But if
yeah,
the question's asked, I want to have a response for it.
definitely. And that's kind of the biggest thing, I think, to getting things to pass is as long as you have an answer to most of their questions, even if they don't like it, it's, they generally accept it. So. Okay. So, yep, that's it. Hopefully you guys can make it on Monday. I think most of these should pass without much concern.
And you should have gotten all the motions, Mike.
I got that
Okay.
email. I didn't go through.
That's
it
okay. I just want to make sure you saw it.
Yep, I saw it. Perfect. Okay. Any updates, Pam? Anything going on?
No, the vacant land abutting the 58 Main Street parcels is for sale. So the 2 special permits for the uses we just reviewed, there's the developable vacant land in the industrial zone that I noticed is a for sale sign on the property. It's about 20 acres.
That's been for sale. That's been for sale for a while. Yeah, there's land on the border of Stowe, and so if you're looking at Cobham, it's I guess we have to call it something different now though. So if you look at Cobham, it's to the left. Yeah, whatever it's called. The border of Stowe and the left side of the building, there's like 20 acres.
That's all wooded, right? So that's
yeah, it's all wooded area. Yep.
Huh, okay.
And it's all industrial. It's about 20 acres.
But Eric, you think that's been for sale for a while?
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen that.
He seems to be more active in pursuing getting rid of this property though, as of recently.
There was some dispute between 58 Main Street and that land. Like, I think there was like a variance that was needed or something at some point. So maybe that needed to clear up.
There was some, actually the building where the HVAC company was constructed on another parcel. So they got into a land court dispute about who owns what and how the property should be transferred.
Yeah, so I think it must be cleared up if they're pushing forward.
So our next meeting would be May 14th. Is that right? So 14th and the 28th for May. Is that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Anything on tap for that one yet?
No new applications.
Okay. All right. Anything else from anyone? Great. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, everyone, have a great night. If I see a town meeting, I'll see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the May 14th meeting.
Yep. See you Monday.
Okay. Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Thanks.